Hey everyone, it's Joshua Sheppard here again. I'm a young up-and-coming artist out of the GTA area of Toronto. Maybe some of you know me, maybe some of you don't. Anyways, today is my definitive interview, so we'll get to know a little bit more.
I know that you've performed in certain places in Ontario. Tell us a little bit about that, the places that you've played, whether it be pubs or radio, and what those experiences were like for you.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of playing at quite a few spots so far throughout my entire tenure of singing and playing. I started off doing like recital shows, and I had a couple shows done where I played with a band at a theater environment, which was probably the coolest, where we got our own backstage like dress room to hang out in. We got to go out on stage, and of course there was probably a few hundred people there, which was really awesome. In recent days, since I've done kind of gone down the route of doing my own thing as a solo artist and really kickstarted my music career, I've played at a few spots. While live gigs haven't totally been my focus, I've had the privilege of playing at one spot in particular up in Gravenhurst. Shout out to Sawdust City. It's a great environment for singer-songwriters of all types. They've got a lovely stage up there, and I had the privilege of also hosting their Canada Day celebrations last year. I've played at bars around down Toronto. I have been the Barbertown in Georgetown. It's where I usually host a lot of events. And yeah, so I've been around the province quite a bit with my music.
If you make a mistake, how do you handle that during the performance?
Yeah, of course there's no perfect performances. I mean, life isn't perfect, right? So of course a performance is never going to be perfect, but as a musician, it's my job to get it as close to perfect as possible. Now, some things can be out of my control sometimes, whether it's like sound checks or whatnot like that, where maybe a speaker's malfunctioning, this or that, something happens, catastrophic, but usually everything's been smooth so far. But of course there's going to be a little nicks here and there that you're not quite right. And the fact is, as a musician, we're our own biggest critics. Of course, most of the times people aren't going to notice every little mistake that happens, but as I learned pretty young, my piano teacher would always tell me is whenever you make a little mistake or something like that, you just keep going. You don't stop and try to readjust, because that's what makes it a big mistake and makes it awkward. When you got to stop the show and be like, you never say, oh, let me do that again. No, you just keep going, and hopefully by the time your performance is through, it's been good enough where the audience can't even remember, or they don't even recall. The mistake doesn't stand out because the rest of the performance was so good.
Do you get nervous yourself when you're about to do a show or a gig?
Yeah, no, I think stage fright is a very prevalent thing among a lot of people. I mean, first of all, if you can't get up in front of people and sing or play, then maybe you should reconsider being a musician. But yeah, no, it is something though that you can overcome. I think it's just by means of repetition and doing it a bunch. We talk about practice behind the shows, practicing the songs, sitting up there. And of course, if you're confident in your abilities, that's one less thing you have to worry about. But in a way, playing the shows themselves is practice. For every show that you do, you're probably going to feel a little bit better about the next one. And that's just kind of the nature of being in it for a long time. I've been playing music for a long time. I've been performing for a long time, so I don't really have any high nerves when I get on stage anymore. It's usually pretty casual. Of course, like a few minutes before getting up, it's like, oh, okay, gotta pull myself together, gotta knock this one out of the park. But I've been fairly used to it for a long time, again, just by virtue of being a performer for so long, that it's I don't know, the stage is more comfortable for me than honestly like talking one-on-one with people after performances. I'll be like, yeah, thanks so much, but I feel like I belong on the stage.